You're watching Your View.
Thank you for joining us. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Hey, great friends, what is happening? This is Kaplan and Crew along with Grande and the Brown Man. For those of you that are listening on radio on the mightier 1090, you can catch us from home base here in San Diego. You start heading north into Orange County, keep going into LA and beyond. Ventura County, Grande's hometown, the Nard, Santa Barbara, the Central Coast. You can catch up to us anywhere in the mega market utilizing the radio. Just click on 1090. And for those of you that are listening right now, you know the deal. But for those of you that are watching on YouTube, you guys are the heart and soul of what we do around here. And we appreciate everybody watching on YouTube. And for those of you that are watching on YouTube, I think of you guys as being a little bit more digitally flexible. So I always ask, when Alex puts out tweets from the Kaplan and Crew account, retweet them, comment on them, circulate, let people know we're back or where to find us. Usually Mondays are our biggest days. For those of you that catch up to us on television tonight, Channel 4 San Diego, 118 in Orange County, 118 in Palos Verdes, Channel 4 in Santa Barbara. So wherever you can hear us on radio, you can watch us on TV. And for those that are watching on TV, if you want the full experience, go to youtube.com/Kaplan and Crew. And as always, you can get us anytime you want us on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, Amazon Music, and other audio podcast platforms I'm not even familiar with. So we are back in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. Grande and Brown Man, we were kind of getting into a discussion here earlier for those of you that are just joining us. I think the New England Patriots are back. When I say back, I think the New England Patriots are a legitimate playoff contender right now. And I think the Kansas City Chiefs are back. And I'll go a step beyond with the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are a legitimate Super Bowl contender now. And it's not because the Chiefs are awesome, okay? It's because when I look around the rest of the AFC, and I'll start with the AFC West, Chargers are not very good. Raiders are definitely not any good. And Denver's just middle of the road. The reason I think New England is back, certainly in the playoff picture, is because they're now 6-4. Buffalo is leading the division at 6-3. Buffalo destroyed the Jets yesterday, but couldn't score a touchdown and lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars a week ago. When I look around the rest of the AFC, I think Kansas City and New England come out of Week 10, and they're a big part of the playoff conversation as the season progresses. It is Overreaction Monday, to be sure. There's a couple of overreactions for you guys to jump in on. What do you say to that?
The only one that I had to whoa, wait a second now. I don't know if the Chiefs are Super Bowl contenders again, but I do think that they are a serious threat to win the division. And having Patrick Mahomes look like, some of those mistakes were still there yesterday. Don't get me wrong, but he seemed to have worked his way through them. And all those games where they were terrible, that they should have lost, that they actually won, put them in a position that when they got right, they look like this again, and they look like they're ready to put their foot down on some people. So I'm interested to see where it goes.
I would say, just because you guys know, I like to look at schedules, look what's coming, and I think the Chiefs, they'll probably finish 12-6. Their record and their schedule is going to be very favorable to the Chiefs. And if they figured it out last night, then they're definitely going to be there at the end for the AFC, because what they did last night is what we all expect them to do all the time, right? Chuck it deep to Tyreek Hill, 15-yard passes to Travis Kelce, dump it off to the running back. Mahomes throws for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. That's what we all expect, and I think it's been a shock that they haven't been able to do it. Now, why did they do it? I don't know. Are the Raiders that terrible, or do they figure it out? I don't know. That's the question going forward, and I love the matchup against the Cowboys next week, because I think we'll really figure out which one of these two teams is actually super good, right? Because the Cowboys, they had a stinker last week against the Broncos, and they go out there and just manhandle the Falcons,
who aren't good. I guess the question we keep coming back to is who is good and who's not good. And the only thing that we do know is that there are 3 terrible teams that everyone should beat, but everyone hasn't beaten those terrible teams. So I don't know if the Cowboys are really that high up in the NFC. I know that they can score points. I don't know if they can stop anybody, similar to Kansas City. So we'll see. We'll see.
Well, let me throw this at you guys. Mm-hmm. Who's the best team in the AFC right now?
The Titans.
Okay, Titans are 8-2.
I would say by default it's the Titans.
Okay, but okay. See, I think it's actually, in my opinion, it's won by record, so 8-2. Okay. But secondly, Alex, if we're going to play the game of who you've beaten or
you
who
beat.
you right. So when you look at New England, for example, earlier you made the point that New England has been winning games and they've gotten
Mhm.
themselves into the playoff mix, but they're not really impressing anybody with great wins. Now, I would argue that going on the road and beating the Chargers, that's a really solid win. But I suppose you would come back and argue with me that your Minnesota Vikings going on the road and beating the Chargers in front of a very favorable Viking crowd yesterday at SoFi Stadium. By the way, I like your hat. I like your Vikings hat today.
Thank you.
You're probably going to tell me that New England beating the Chargers in SoFi seemed okay until your Vikings came and beat the Chargers in SoFi, and that kind of discredits New England's win.
No, I mean, listen, and I'm not making a joke, but in the same breath as saying that the Patriots are back because of them going on a little winning streak, I could argue with you, 2 kicks, 3 kicks, the Vikings are one of the best teams in the NFC. Because they literally are. They missed a field goal against the Cardinals, or they would have beat the Cardinals. They missed a late field goal against the Cowboys, or they would have beat the Cowboys. And last week against the Ravens, they blew a lead, like a big lead, and they lost by 3 in overtime. Like, so it's like it's difficult to say, like, put things in such a general context, because if you watch every game, a kick here, a kick there, and you got different results.
That's the league though. And that takes me back to my original question. Other than us knowing who's really bad, there is no this team is good versus a middle of the pack team that can beat any other team any other week. Like, where is Green Bay and Seattle at this moment? No one knows. Aaron Rodgers appears to still be sick, and Russell Wilson appears to have lost it. Like, we don't know. Next week they can both look like MVPs, and both the teams can look fine.
Well,
we don't know.
well, let me ask you
But
this.
to
Let me
go
ask
back,
you this.
what you asked, the general question was, who's the best team in the AFC?
Yeah.
2 of the 3 of us say the Titans, and then what did Browner say?
I said the Titans by default.
Okay, so let's just real quick. If the Titans are the best team in the AFC, and the reason we think they're the best team is twofold. One, they have the best record, okay?
Mhm.
But look in the last few weeks. The Titans have beaten the Bills, who we thought were good. And by the way, they just barely beat the Bills. If it wasn't for Josh Allen slipping at the goal line, the Bills win that game. Then they annihilated the Chiefs when most of us thought the Chiefs were probably toast. Then they beat the Colts 34-31, and the Colts are just sort of a middle of the road team.
Mhm.
Then the Titans go on the road without Derrick Henry and crush the Rams.
Mhm.
And then they beat the Saints, who a week earlier, with a third string quarterback, beat Tampa Bay. And I hope I'm getting my chronology right.
That seems about right.
But here's the point. Tennessee has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight wins, and they're 8-2. And
They
so
won in Seattle. They beat the Colts twice already, who are like this up and coming team. You know, they had that terrible loss to the Jets and the week 1 loss that, week 1 is week 1 in the NFL. But I genuinely think that everybody was expecting the Titans to just go down the toilet once Derrick Henry got hurt, and they continue to prove that they're just more than a Derrick Henry team. I think defensively they're solid. Offensively, Ryan Tannehill can do enough to win games. I think the Titans are going to be a hard out no matter who they play in the playoffs.
But we're not talking about in the last couple of weeks them beating the Jets and the Texans and the Lions. We're talking about them beating legitimate teams. So now if I think, so this is just through 10 weeks. If I think Tennessee's the best team in the AFC, that's fine. Okay? But I think Kansas City is now emerging. I think New England is showing signs of massive improvement, regardless of who they're beating. They are winning these games. I'm not as caught up in Buffalo as I once was. I'm not so sure I believe in Baltimore the way I once did. And I know I don't believe in the Chargers, the Raiders, or the Broncos. So what I'm saying is this. If I had to rank it today in the AFC in particular, Tennessee's my 1 seed. This is just my own personal power rankings. Tennessee's my 1. Kansas City's my 2. Buffalo's probably my 3, followed by New England at 4, maybe Baltimore at 5. I mean, I'm just saying that Kansas City has reemerged because I think they'll win the AFC West now, and I think New England has to be taken seriously at this point. Those are my points about those 2 teams.
I would argue any person that wants to tell you that Buffalo is a top tier team because of their the way that they've won games, they're playing the exact same schedule as the Patriots, because of the division. There's probably 1 or 2 games that the NFL throws in there, but they're roughly playing the same teams. So if they're a half a game behind, they're a half a game behind because they're beating the same teams Buffalo's beating.
No, you're totally right. And if I had to give you my power rankings, I wouldn't even get to 4. I really wouldn't. I promise you. I don't trust a single team in the AFC. I'll start off by saying that. But if I had to rank them, I go Titans 1, Chiefs just out of pure perception 2,
Yeah.
and then everybody else. Everybody else is a hit or miss weekly.
Yeah, Baltimore, the loss against Miami on
Man.
Thursday night, that really
That was ugly.
that set me back on Baltimore, and Buffalo's loss 2 weeks ago against the Jaguars,
Ugly.
that set me back too. Hey, real quick, I want to talk about a bunch of other stuff. Since we're starting with the AFC side of Overreaction Monday, we'll stay there for a second, and then we'll start working our way towards the NFC side of things, because tonight, really big Monday Night Football game. And man, the Rams, this signing of Odell Beckham, which last week on Friday, I hated it. On Monday, you can't help but love it. And I'll explain the difference between Friday and Monday in just 1 second. Before I do, quick reminder though, ithrivemd.com/Kaplan. And the phone number is 858-240-1497. Quick story for you. When Dr. Damani, Dr. Samir Damani, who you've met on the show, when he said to me, this is last month, hey, I want to get the phones ringing more. I want to get more listeners in to become clients of iThriveMD. Let's do something out of the ordinary. Let's do a 50% discount. So this happened about the 3rd week of October, and he said, let's do it till the end of October. So we only had about 10 days on air, and the phone started to ring. It did exactly what Dr. Damani wanted it to do. When I told everybody it's $289 a month for testosterone treatments, and Dr. Damani is lowering it down to $145 for your first 3 months, that sparked immediate feedback. 858-240-1497. Now, I expected that deal to come to an end on October 31st. The response was good, really good. So I said to Dr. Damani, I said, how about we do it through Thanksgiving? And he said, wow, through Thanksgiving? Really? I said, Doc, let's just do it one more time. I promise you guys this. I'll never ask him again. This deal isn't coming around again. So look, if you're feeling tired, depressed, if you are experiencing erectile dysfunction, or you have very low libido, if you're noticing changes to your body, you're feeling flabby or weak, you might as well come take advantage of this opportunity, which is get your testosterone levels checked for free. If you need testosterone treatments, iThriveMD will give you your first 3 months at 50% savings from $289 to $145. At the end of the 3 months, you're either going to feel like $1 million and say, I don't care what it costs, I'll pay anything for this. Or you'll get done at the end of the 3 months and go, I can go back to living the way I was because I don't want to pay the full boat. 50% savings now through Thanksgiving, and this is it. I'll never ask him again. He'll never do it again. Take action now, fellas. If you're feeling tired, sluggish, depressed, low libido, these are all signs that you have low testosterone, and your first 3 months of testosterone treatments are 50% savings. ithrivemd.com/Kaplan, 858-240-1497, 858-240-1497. For those of you that are driving down the road and you're listening on the radio, I'm telling you right now, take action, make an appointment. Those of you that are watching on YouTube or television, same deal. Make that call right now and start feeling like that clear-minded young guy that you used to be. iThriveMD. All right, so back to all of this on the AFC side of things. Did you guys watch any of the Chargers Vikings yesterday? Because I was at a bar. I watched 2 games. I watched the Chargers and the Vikings over here, and I watched the Packers and the Seahawks over here. I was very impressed, but not surprised by the number of purple shirts inside SoFi Stadium and the noise that the Viking fans were making. No shock. It kind of happens every week. By the way, those of you that want to troll me now and tell me it happens in other parts of the NFL, fair point. Okay, but not to this extent. Grande, your Vikings beat Browner's Chargers. What do you have to say about the performance yesterday?
In the wise words of one Nathan Diaz, I'm not surprised, mother effers. This is the easiest game to call ever. I don't know why. I just knew this would happen. Even in game, when it was time for the Vikings to start blowing their lead as they normally do. You know, the Vikings have had a 7+ point lead in every single game this year. That's how bad they are. Anyways, I just knew it was coming because it's that Spider-Man meme where both these teams are pointing at each other. They're the exact same team. They're the exact same team. Like, as soon as one thing goes wrong, here comes the snowball. It just happened that this week it wasn't the Vikings doing anything wrong. And I continue to say, I know it's harder to do than to say, but if you keep Justin Herbert in the box and put pressure on him, he's not that good. It's really not
Hey,
that
what?
good. He's not that good.
I thought I heard you. I thought I heard you say something crazy.
If you keep him in the box,
The
kept
pocket or
saying
the
it.
box?
Mark Sanchez, who I think is a great analyst, by the way, on games. I don't know if you ever heard him. Like, he was on the call yesterday.
Yeah, no, Kevin Kugler is the play-by-play guy, and Mark Sanchez is the color commentator. And I've worked with Kevin Kugler many years on radio, and he moved over to TV. I love Kevin, and I think Mark Sanchez does a pretty good job.
I think he does a really good job, and they kept pointing out, and I said this a few weeks ago when they're the Chargers' first loss, where Herbert struggled. If you keep him outside of the pocket, don't let him go outside the pocket, he really struggles. And they kept saying that on the broadcast. They're like, the Chargers, to start the second half, they started rolling him out. They started doing play action, get him out. Like, the kid, when he struggles in pocket, he gets under pressure and he struggles. It's early in his career, he can fix it. But right now, that's the way to beat the Chargers. If you can keep him in the pocket and you put pressure on Herbert, which is easier said than done, you can beat the Chargers. But I love seeing the purple people eaters out there. I love seeing the purple. My boy was in the stands. He was sending me all these videos of just how crazy it was, and it was awesome to see. And then when you watch the game, it looked like SoFi was decorated purple. This was a beautiful thing. This is like my Super Bowl. We ain't going anywhere. This was my Super Bowl yesterday. It was awesome.
Yeah, I thought so too. I loved it because I said all week last week, this is the kind of game the Chargers lose. When they're playing against a team kind of like them, where they might get into a shootout, this is the kind of game where the Chargers lose. They beat a team like the Browns, but they'll find a way to lose to a team like the Minnesota Vikings. So, Browner, L.A. Brown, what sort of excuses do you have for the Chargers yesterday?
I thought yesterday was the first crack in the armor of the coach and the game plan. I felt like it took them too long to get to what they did in the second half to make Herbert be a little more effective. I thought the Vikings had a decent game plan against him. I just felt like the coaching staff should have been more prepared for something that they know fits his skill set better and to be able to get to that. Like, both sides of the ball get paid. And I felt like just because the team's going to try to stop you from doing something doesn't mean you should still not try to do it. So I thought yesterday's loss was on Staley more than anyone. But,
can we talk about Brandon Staley for a second?
Go ahead.
Because I remember when the Chargers were going through their little win streak early on.
They beat the Chiefs.
They beat the Chiefs, the Raiders, and the Browns.
No little win streak.
Right.
And the entire media world was Brandon Staley is the best coach in the league.
Wow.
Nobody sees the game like Brandon Staley. And now it's so predictable when he's going for it on fourth down that teams can now game plan for it. Like, that's the difference, is when you break the mold, it's a shock to the system. Look at the Rams when the Lions broke the mold in that game where they're just throwing everything at them. Now, when Brandon Staley's going to go for it, and what kind of plays they're going to run. It was no surprise yesterday, and all the fourth down attempts they had, you knew it was coming. Like, I'm sitting on the couch with my buddy watching the game, who's a Charger fan. We're like, oh, he's going to go for it right now. Like, there's no faith in their kicker, who actually had a decent game yesterday. But it's not a surprise anymore. And it's funny how, Herbert is the next coming of whatever. Hasn't heard that in a while.
Let me
Brandon Staley's the next, Don Shula. Haven't heard that in a while.
Well, wait, let me say this, though. So you're right. When the Chargers beat the Chiefs, Raiders, and Browns, the LA media in particular, who barely pays attention to the Chargers, in that 3-game winning streak, they're like, ooh, something special's happening here.
Rightfully so.
This young coach, something special's going on. Hey, they got this future star quarterback. The LA media started to actually pay a little bit of attention to the Chargers because they were winning. So they became a shiny object.
And they share a building.
Yeah. But I will
Network Studios.
Right. But I'll just say this. Now, and it was predictable, now that they're back to 5-4 and they're just kind of middle of the road and they lose this game at home to the Vikings, who are very middle of the road, all of a sudden people will stop paying attention to them and they'll stop hyping them. They had a 3-week window where they got a lot of love and a lot of hype. And then I was taking a whole bunch of crap for being a hater. And I was like, you guys don't understand the backstory here the way I do. So I am going to be a hater. And while you guys are all of a sudden becoming their hype machine, okay, I will never participate in that hype. But now look what's happened. Come right back down to earth. lose to the Ravens, lose to the Patriots, beat the Eagles, lose at home to the Vikings, and if you think anything's been bad, Viking fans, Patriot fans, Browns fans, you don't even understand what's coming your way this week when the Steelers, who, by the way, are terrible, but it doesn't matter. Their fans travel. Their fans dress the part. Their fans make the noise. The Steeler fans will dominate. It'll be black and yellow everywhere.
Terrible towels.
Terrible towels. Yins are going to love the terrible towels. You'll see.
And the Chargers will win the game, which is what matters.
Maybe.
Should win the game.
Maybe.
Should.
The Steelers aren't good.
No.
Period.
Well, if Ben gets rid of COVID, maybe they'll win. That defense is very good.
Was he vaccinated?
I don't know.
Because that gives him 10 days out. Because if he isn't vaccinated, he won't be back in time.
Right.
Because that's 10 days, and they said he had it on Saturday. I mean, he was a
Well,
late scratch.
Well, all I can tell you is this. Chargers should win the game, but
Right.
they're
They
as
should've won this
unpredictable
previous
as
game.
everybody else. Yeah.
Vikings
So,
suck.
hey, stick around. Coming up, I want to tell you this. Stick around. Listen. Why did Odell Beckham signing, why was it a terrible move for the Rams on Friday, but a brilliant move on Monday? Let's get to that story. Coming right back.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon and by Prospect Home Finance.
Rich Eisen here, inviting you to catch my show, The Rich Eisen Show, on our flagship radio station, the mightier 1090. We're on every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to noon Pacific time. You'll like what you hear. If not, that's just, I guess, too bad.
A new generation of radio. The all-new and mightier 1090.
These are challenging times for our community.
The San Diego Food Bank and our North County Food Bank chapter are here if you need help. We have hundreds of locations throughout the county where you can get help with food.
We have food.
It's okay to ask for help.
Visit one of our drive-through and walk-up locations.
We can also help you sign up for Catfish.
If you need help or if you can help, visit SanDiegoFoodBank.org.
Watch your San Diego State Aztecs take on the Cal State Fullerton Titans. December 8th at 7 p.m., live from the Viejas Arena.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, great googly moogly. Oh, yeah. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon, where your trade-in is always worth more. Just off I-8 in El Cajon.
Up to 30% of COVID-19 patients become long haulers with persistent symptoms months after the infection.
What I've been finding with my patients is that it's taking up to 3 to 6 months for them to recover their endurance, exercise capacity, and get them back to work or to their usual activities of daily living.
What I wasn't able to do was the basic needs, like brush your teeth, take a shower, because of the shortness of breath, the tightness in my chest.
The symptoms that concern me the most, the shortness of breath. So restrictive. You know, you go through and you just take for granted that, you know, you're gonna breathe. And when that gets taken away, it's a scary thought. Unfortunately, I'm 6 months out now from my diagnosis, and I'm still suffering from several of the symptoms.
My experience with the patients I've sent to La Mesa Rehab has been extremely positive. The patients come back with good reports, and when I see them in the office, their exercise capacity has improved dramatically.
I'm getting there because of La Mesa Rehab.
To be homeless means that you've lost your community. East County Transitional Living Center, also known as ECTLC, is a community where we take homeless people off the streets and bring them into our community. We serve a little over 400 people, men, women, and children every day. who were formerly homeless and now are in our residential programs. We work them through the program, we get them jobs, we get them back into life. We teach them basic things, hygiene, when to get up in the morning, how to do a 40-hour week. What we do here is we give them the opportunity for on-the-job experience. In their work therapy training, they're learning how to report to a supervisor, how to become a supervisor, how to be a good employee. You don't want to enable a homeless person to remain homeless, which means go feed them. So if you're out there and you see a homeless person and you want to try to help them, give to your local charity.
Hey, Dave Smith here. Make sure you listen to my show on the Mightier 1090, 6 to 10 p.m. Saturday and Sunday night. The only local sports talk in all of Southern California on the weekends, right here on the Mightier 1090.
The all-new and Mightier 1090.
Food insecurity is defined as not having sufficient resources to buy food either for yourself or for your family. Folks who are food insecure struggle with not having enough food to eat because maybe they lost their jobs. It is important to not just look at one person as being food insecure, but really looking at them as it could be anyone. The San Diego Food Bank has been around for over 40 years. Our job is to help procure food for San Diego County residents to make sure that no one is going to bed hungry. Accessing food from the San Diego Food Bank is very simple. A lot of our distributions right now are operating as drive-through distributions, so they are safe to attend if you are concerned with getting out of your vehicle and walking into a food pantry. The San Diego Food Bank needs your continued support. Please visit our website at sandiegofoodbank.org, and there you will see all of the different ways that you too can get involved.
There's a difference between just getting there and enjoying the journey. At Team Mazda of El Cajon, we put you in the driver's seat of the best cars around. From our stylish crossover SUVs to our classic sedans and sports cars. At Team Mazda of El Cajon, your good credit and trade-in can turn into the Mazda of your dreams. Start enjoying your drive with a new Mazda today. Visit Team Mazda of El Cajon.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon. And by Prospect Home Finance.
San Diego State football is now ranked 23rd in the latest AP poll. The Aztecs got a 23-21 victory over Nevada on Saturday. Matt Araiza and Cameron Thomas were named Mountain West Players of the Week. Araiza was named Special Teams Player of the Week, averaging 55.6 yards per punt, which was the highest average in the nation last week. The kicker also had his first career game winner to boost the Aztecs to a win over the Wolfpack. Thomas had a season-high 10 tackles, the second most in his career, along with 3.5 tackles for loss and 3 sacks in the Aztecs win, earning him Defensive Player of the Week. Next up, they'll take on UNLV on Friday in Vegas. That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew Tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Team Mazda of El Cajon and by Prospect Home Finance.
Still on his feet, Jared Williams. Swift is in the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcat. He's in the 40. Is he going to go? Goes, holds it in. What a catch. Return left sideline. Off to the races. He flipped the defenders into the end zone. He's got a man. Wildcat. That was pretty.
Game Time High School Football on Your View is brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon, where your trade-in is always worth more. Just off I-8 in El Cajon. Watch your San Diego State Aztecs take on the Cal State Fullerton Titans. December 8th at 7 p.m., live from the Viejas Arena.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the Mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the Mightier 1090 and Your View. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon and by Prospect Home Finance.
Hey, great friends. We're not too far away right now from Monday Night Football between the Rams and the 49ers. And in this world of the NFL that we're living in, where we can't figure out who's good and who's not good, while the Rams should kill the 49ers tonight, and I say it that way for this reason. Last week, Arizona blasted San Francisco and didn't have Kyler Murray. Now, kind of strange as you're trying to figure out the NFL that Arizona gets annihilated this week by Carolina. No Kyler Murray, no Hopkins in the lineup for Arizona. But still, didn't you think Arizona had enough to beat Carolina? But Carolina, and we're going to talk some NFC here in a minute, Carolina, I do think, and I don't know how long it lasts, but they were energized by Cam Newton's arrival to the team. So we'll get to the NFC stuff here in just 1 second, and I'm going to tell you why the signing of Odell Beckham was a bad idea last week and is a brilliant idea in advance of Monday Night Football coming up in just a few minutes. Stay with us. We are in the 7 Mile Casino studios, 7milecasino.com, just minutes from downtown San Diego, 7 minutes, as a matter of fact. Sammy's Restaurant and Bar, great food and drink, blackjack, poker, table games, smoke-free environment, beautiful Bay of Chula Vista, and what a location, 7 Mile Casino, 7milecasino.com. All right, here's why last Friday Odell was a bad idea and why Monday's a great idea. Look, when they signed Odell Beckham, they had a great offense, the Rams. They had a great passing game. They have 3 really good receivers. Cooper Kupp is having a Jerry Rice kind of year. Robert Woods has been one of the most consistent number 2 type wide receivers in the NFL. And Van Jefferson is emerging as a fine young talent, as a second-round draft choice and only a second-year player. They've got a good pass-catching tight end in Tyler Higbee, and they've got this offense rolling with Matt Stafford. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, number 1. And number 2, don't bring a personality to your team that could potentially turn toxic if he doesn't get the playing time and the passes and the targets that he expects to get. And you're putting in a personality like Odell into a receiver room that's already got 3 accomplished players and 3 really good, solid players and good team guys. That was Friday. Okay, that's Friday. It's all my perception. He's a diva. He's a prima donna. If he doesn't get his way, his dad's going to produce a bunch of videos, and he's going to out the whole team and turn the clubhouse, or in this case, the locker room, toxic. Okay, that's Friday. Now it's Monday. What do we know today that we did not know then? Well, when Odell Beckham was signed, Kupp, Woods, Jefferson. Those are your top 3 wide receivers. In fact, so much so that Deshaun Jackson, granted 34 years old, has a lot of history of injury, but Deshaun Jackson couldn't get the ball and wanted off the Rams. And I don't know if you guys saw what he did last night against Kansas City, but he made his first catch. Made his first catch for the Raiders, goes the wrong direction, then fumbles. Okay. Yeah. But today, as we get ready for Monday Night Football, the Odell Beckham signing is a brilliant and yet at the same time very lucky signing for the Rams, because late last week, and I'm talking maybe this actually happened on Saturday, we get a report that on Thursday, this is how quiet this was kept.
That was Friday night.
It was Friday night is when we got the report?
Yes.
He tore it Friday.
Okay, so thank you for the chronology. Odell Beckham is signed on Thursday. Then on Friday, Robert Woods in practice tears his ACL. Gone for the year. So all of a sudden, the Rams, with this great receiving room, with these 3 accomplished receivers, they lose their number 2 guy. This is on Friday night. He's gone for the season. Anybody who's been a longtime listener here knows how much we love Robert Woods. We've gone up to broadcast at Rams training camp. Robert Woods has always been great to us, being a guest. He's a terrific personality. He's a USC kid. He's a guy from Southern California, good looking and smart and articulate and accomplished. We love the guy. But the Rams signing of Odell, which I did not like last week, now I have to say, you talk about the luckiest signing. You got a top-notch caliber NFL wide receiver for a very minimal price, and then your number 2 guy is gone for the rest of the year, meaning that your wide receiving core is now Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham, and Van Jefferson. In other words, Odell Beckham can't upset the wide receivers room, and he can't upset the offense, meaning if Van Jefferson is the odd man out and he becomes a guy who's pissed off and upset and he wants out, you never know how this all plays out. But now the luck, if you will, I say the luck, the bad luck for Robert Woods, the good luck for the Rams organization. Can you imagine? They lose one of their top guys to injury in practice, and the guy who will play now in the next hour for the Rams is Odell Beckham. Bad luck for Robert Woods, insanely good luck for the LA Rams. Bad signing last week, in my opinion. Brilliant signing Monday. That's how fast the NFL changes. Fellas, what do you have to say to that?
The number one is in the building. Okay, number one is in the building, but we're wearing number 3. Sorry, Cam Makers. That's how the cookie crumbles when you the man, dog. You got to get that number up, bruh. Give it up. I don't know what to tell y'all. We about to see the real Odell. I hope y'all happy in Cleveland. Y'all got nothing. I hope LA is about to see what a real superstar look like. All right, he about to come out there like football LeBron tonight.
I would just tell you that I don't think the moves coincide at all. I think that the loss of Robert Woods is a move that you can't quantify because the stuff he does that you never comes up on a stat sheet. I think the more you read about his ability to block as a receiver, he's the number 1 rated blocker as a wide receiver in all of football. What he does downfield, what he brings as a leader, what he brings to as an IQ to the field, that things that Odell will never do because they'll never ask him to do it. Relax. Don't be so defensive about OBJ, by the way. You've never mentioned his name ever.
Touchdown
now
tonight.
all of a sudden.
And you know
first
why?
of all, yes, I do know why, but we don't need to get into it. But
touchdown
you call it out. Let's call it out.
Touchdown tonight.
Why is Odell Beckham the number 1 now?
You know why? Because he's
You know
the
why?
best. Other room, he's the best in the room.
No, he is not. He is not the best in the room. He
Who
has.
better?
Come on, dog. Really?
We'll see tonight. We'll see. We'll see.
Dude, all I can tell you is this: is that if Cooper Kupp were a man of African American persuasion, you would say Odell's number 2. But because Cooper Kupp is white, you, just like so many other people, tell me that Odell is better. He's a better athlete. He's a better skill guy. I literally had this conversation. I'm like, how do you quantify all of this? The stats say that Cooper Kupp's one of the best wide receivers in the entire NFL, leading the way with yardage and touchdowns. But I'm telling you right now, the public perception is because he's white, he really can't be this good. And as soon as Odell shows up, the significantly better athlete has just walked into the room. Come on. It's a black and white issue, and you know it.
Listen, bro.
Go ahead, bro.
Tonight, when the lights come on, you going to see it. All right? You going to see a combination of Jerry Rice and Randy Moss tonight on the field. Tonight. No mistakes made, okay? No confusion. No illusion. Odell.
Where was this 3 weeks ago? You never even said the word Odell for the 2 years we've been doing the show. Now all of a sudden he's Jerry Rice and Randy Moss.
That's right.
Right. In
Why?
fact,
Why does it matter? Who cares if he's okay, you're LA Brown. Don't you want the Rams to do well, or are you just LA Charger Brown?
No, he's Odell Brown.
Listen. I wish he would have landed on the Chargers. Same LA Odell. I mean, I ain't mad at you, Odell, but I'm just saying.
He's actually a better
OBJ
fit.
and OJB. Let's go,
I would say
boy.
he's a much better. He would have been a much better fit with the Chargers.
Odell John Browner.
Odell John Browner. Okay. Wait, Alex, Odell Beckham's a better fit on the Chargers than he is on the Rams?
Yeah. Him and Keenan Allen could be like douchebags together, they could just do their own flamboyant thing, think they're better than they are. They could do it together. Just run down straight. Do what Mike Williams does. Odell Beckham is not going to come in and block. Odell Beckham is not going to come in and be a decoy on routes. He wants the ball. By the way, when you're talking about give me my number, give me did you read that report? He literally was not going to sign with the Rams because they didn't have his number available.
And guess what happened? They made it available. Shocker.
No, they didn't because
he's number
13 is not available.
3. He wanted 3.
He wanted 13. You couldn't
13.
Do it.
Because of the rules, they couldn't change the number by NFL rules.
But that was going to stop him from signing with the Rams because he couldn't get a number. We all know why Odell's with the Rams. I have a clip. He'll tell you why he joined the Rams, but we all know why he's with the Rams.
Here, let's take a listen. Let's take a listen to what – because here's the thing. again, I'm going to make my point, and I know, Alex, you don't necessarily agree with it, but here goes. When they signed him, I didn't like it because I didn't think they needed him, and I think that he could potentially bring a toxic attitude to what I think is a very good locker room. Maybe Aaron Donald can regulate his locker room better than whoever else is the star of the Cleveland Browns.
Myles Garrett.
Maybe Myles Garrett can't regulate his locker room the way Aaron Donald can regulate his, but the fact that they had a full complement of healthy wide receivers on Friday and on today, Monday, when they're playing on Monday Night Football, their number 2 guy, who also, by the way, as Alex is pointing out, does a lot of very selfless things that don't show up in the stat line because of his injury. To me, having somebody of Odell Beckham's resume, not necessarily of his skill set or accomplishments today, per se, but somebody of Odell Beckham's resume to fill in for Robert Woods, it went from what I thought was a bad signing on Thursday to what I think turns into an excellent signing on Monday. But here's Odell. Let's hear what you wanted to play for us, Alex.
You know, I took a lot of time in the decision making, and it wasn't to build anticipation or nothing. You know, this is my life, and I feel like I've been through a lot, and you know, I'm at a point in my life where I'm ready to play football, and I've sacrificed a lot to be here, and it just happened that this felt right in my heart and my soul. I prayed on it, you know, sat back by the fires, just sat in silence and just tried to listen to what God was telling me, and it just happened to be here. You know, this is a tremendous team, 7-2, have a great opportunity to do some great things, and I just wanted to be a part of it.
I don't know why y'all hating on that man overcoming all this struggle just to be a successful black entrepreneur in this business and in these streets. Y'all something else to me, man. Y'all something else. That man just sat there and told y'all he had to overcome all these hardships, and now y'all just go, try to make it seem like he ain't number uno. I hope Cooper Kupp can block tonight. He gonna need it.
Before we jump on that, I just want to say, like, when he was talking and praying to God, I think he heard cha-ching, cha-ching. Because that's what the Rams are doing. That's the only reason the Rams got him. Is because they gave $4.5 million.
Right.
Secondly,
it's like God, give me a sign.
Mysterious ways.
Right.
God, I'm listening to the fire. I'm listening to the crackle of the fire. Because
Yeah.
I'm sitting here in silence and I'm saying, dear God, please give me some indication as to what I should do.
Give me strength and guidance, Lord.
Right. And then all of a sudden, your agent calls and says, the Packers are offering this, the Rams are offering this plus, and he says, that's the sign from God that I was looking for.
So,
I also love one of my favorite parts of what he said during that soundbite was this. I'm now ready to commit myself to football. Like as if, hey, the last few years, I actually haven't been really into it at all. But now,
I didn't like Cleveland.
Now that I'm where I want to be, which is I have a house here in LA. I have an agent that's going to get me into movies. Okay. I'm going to become a Hollywood celebrity. TMZ is going to follow me. They don't even come to Cleveland. Okay. I'm a superstar. I'm in the mother effing house, yo. Okay.
Yeah.
A great man once said, one of the greatest signs God ever created was the dollar sign. Come on, ODBO. Come on, OBJ.
ODPO. Oh, dirty
Let's
bastard.
go.
Come on now.
LeBron loves Odell.
I have a question,
You
though.
should be a hater on Odell since you're such a hater on LeBron.
Listen, it's a truth. Listen, official truth. I was in LA last night. I was chopping it up. It's a truth. We got truth right now.
You mentioned the struggles that OBJ has had to overcome.
Had to.
Can you
brother.
list 3 of those struggles?
Excuse me?
Yeah. Can you just tell me the 3 3 of the struggles that since he has had to come so much adversity in his entrepreneurial NFL careership, as you called it.
Right.
What are those struggles that he's had to endure?
Well, first and foremost, Baker Mayfield was the biggest roadblock in the way. 2, the Cleveland Browns as an organization. And 3, the city of Cleveland, because it's a dumpster fire and everybody hates it.
Well, 1, okay, sure. 2, the Browns were, I believe, in the AFC Championship game last year.
Right, and we're like a play
Without
away from
him.
beating the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Without him.
Without him. And 3, Cleveland has some championships under their belt just because LeBron, so.
Who? What? A, brother. A, 1, singular. Don't many, not many, 1.
Well, they got 1, so anyways.
So now you think, so let me just understand this now. So Odell Beckham is now the number 1 wide receiver on the Rams. He hasn't played for them. He doesn't know their playbook. He hasn't even practiced really with Matthew Stafford. Odell's in the number 1, and Cooper Kupp, to your point, Cooper Kupp now has to change his role. Cooper
Robert
Kupp
Woods now.
Right, he has to go do for Odell what Robert Woods did for him, is what you're saying.
Yeah, chop block people and all the dirty stuff. You got to do that now. Mr. Clean's in the building. Can't mess up this.
Yeah, I really hope Van Jefferson knows how to block, because that's
what y'all talking about. Running routes. Go catch that brown thing. That's the route.
Let me ask you this. Anybody here think that Odell maybe doesn't even make it through the remainder of the regular season healthy? I mean, the guy's always hurt.
Well, listen, if you was playing in Cleveland, you'd be always hurt too.
Oh, really? Well, okay. So he wasn't really hurt. He just
when they played in New
in
York
2000
on Monday night, he was available.
You remember in 2018, Cooper Kupp tore his ACL, and the Rams went to the Super Bowl anyways.
Mm-hmm.
What
about it? Well, listen, they got Odell now. The promised land is promised. God told him. Y'all heard it.
I gotta be honest with you. I am opposite of what I am with Cam Newton. I was hoping and rooting for Cam Newton to do well. I'm glad he did. I thought it was awesome. I am rooting for Odell to fail. Honestly, just like I've never liked the guy ever. When he was like proposing to a field goal net, was the dumbest BS I've ever seen. Like, all that guy wants is cameras on him. I'm so over. I don't know. I cannot stand the guy. Just as his personality, I can't stand the guy, and I hope he fails. Because he got paid, so he's not going to fail like a normal person. He'll fail as an NFLer.
You got to get that hate out your heart, big fella. You got to get that hate out your heart, man.
2 catches, 18 yards tonight.
Tonight?
Yeah.
Tonight? 7 catches, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns. Book it. Talk to me nice, Odell. Let's dance.
All right, listen, we got a lot more we want to get to here on what is always an overreaction Monday from around the NFL. And we haven't even really gone into the NFC side of things yet, because you're right, Alex. I mean, we got to talk about the Cowboys. We got to talk about what the Carolina Panthers did yesterday. And we got to try and figure out what we know on the NFC side of things, like we're trying to figure out the AFC side of things. But before we do, Browner, you got to tell me about Saturday going down to West Coast Barbecue Shop in Chula Vista. I got a lot of messages from great friends saying, hey, are you going to be able to come down here? Because I was really trying to get down. My daughter was playing in her first JV high school basketball game down at Otay Ranch High School. She said they got beat, and she said she only played like 5 minutes. And speaking of that, by the way, I have something I must tell you guys and show you guys later in the show, and I need to get your advice on something that's really, really, really important related to
Odell Beckham?
No, related more to basketball, kids, brands, whether or not you should buy somebody's name on. Hold on. I'm going to get it next. In the next segment, I will bring this up to you guys. But let me just find out. West Coast Barbecue Shop on Saturday, Brown. I had a lot of people saying, we're going down, we're going to hang out. How was it down there on Saturday? I saw a lot of your videos on Instagram and on Twitter.
They continue to amaze at the way they can wrap stuff in stuff, cook stuff, deep fry stuff, put stuff, not deep fry, but put things on the grill, put things in the big green egg. They surprised me with that turkey again, man.
Now, what are we looking at here, Alex? What is this? Some kind
Those
of
are pig shots.
I don't know. Fat Tony sent me these.
What is this?
That's either the pig shot, or that's either the they had sausage wrapped bacon. So that's one of the two. But
that is what that looks like. That does look like bacon wrapped sausage. That's
phenomenal, man.
That's like putting rice in a burrito where I need to have extra carbs. That's like putting more pork around pork. What's this one, Brown? Are those turkeys?
That's the turkey inside of the grill. It was just unbelievable.
Looks like a big green egg is what that one
was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Any other pictures, Alex? I mean, these are great pictures. I think Fat Tony tried to text him to you, Browner, but he still had your 312 area code. What do we got here?
That thing right there that was a brisket. I think that was a brisket.
Wow. So I heard a lot from people saying, hey, I went down to West Coast Barbecue Shop.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to Brian. I was buying some rubs and some sauces, and I was looking at some grills and looking at accessories. But Browner, when you went down there, did you find that a lot of our listeners and viewers showed up on Saturday afternoon?
I felt like all the people who I came in contact with came down because they had heard about it, and we only talked about it the day before. So
we talked about it the day before. Oh, wait, now we're looking at video here. Now we've got some video. I didn't know that we had this. Oh, this is Browner's video that he put out on social media. There's Fat Tony. He's going to have the bacon-wrapped sausage, although he's been watching his weight.
He's been watching himself eat.
Really?
He was killing everything down there, man. He wasn't watching no weight. FT stood true to the name. He ate a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
He was like you at 7 Mile.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, Alex, we're gonna. Did you do your measurements yet on your balcony for your grill?
No, but that's easily done.
Well, because now what I'm thinking to myself is maybe that should be your housewarming gift from me and Rachel.
Ooh.
Oh, well, I'll never say no to a free grill, dog. That's for sure.
Well, I've been trying to think of what's the best housewarming gift I can give you, and I've been thinking that I'm just going to give you a gift card so you can go do whatever you want. You buy your own stuff that you need. But I know you want a grill, and I know you got a limited amount of space. So if you measure it out and you give me those measurements, we go down together if you want. We can shop together if that's how you prefer to do it. But I've been trying to figure out a really good housewarming gift for you. I want to get you something that you can really enjoy. So West Coast Barbecue Shop, westcoastbbqshop.com. Check out our man, Brian Bushfield, and definitely tell him you're a great friend. He's going to take really good care of you. Lots more to get to, including a personal dilemma I need help with, coming up next.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon and by Prospect Home Finance.
Hey, it's Pharrell here, inviting you to catch my shows on the mightier 1090. We're on twice every Monday through Friday, 1 to 3 p.m. and 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific. Trust me, all the other sports stations are sleeping with your wife.
The all-new and mightier 1090.
Great things can be achieved when a community comes together. Join Erica Cardenas on Doing More as she introduces you to ordinary people working side by side to confront tremendous challenges and make a positive impact in their community.
Watch Doing More Sunday night at 6 on Your View or stream it online at yourview.com. Sponsored by The Barnes Firm, partnering with Shelter to Soldier and saving lives 2 at a time. Visit thebarnesfirm.com/shelter to soldier and help save more lives.
Still on his feet, Jared Williams. Swift is in the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcat. He's in the 40. Is he going to go? Holds it in. What a catch. Return left sideline. Off to the races. He flipped the defenders into the end zone. He's got a man. Wildcat. That was pretty.
Game Time High School Football on Your View is brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon, where your trade-in is always worth more. Just off I-8 in El Cajon.
From fitness to medical technology, explore how people are leading healthier lives on Your Health. Join Erica Cardenas as she introduces you to health experts and discover how our daily choices affect our well-being. Plus, learn simple tips for healthier living. Your Health,
Sunday at 4:30 p.m. on Your View and yourview.com. Your Health is brought to you by Save the Storks. Help us reach the hearts of women with compassion, education, and holistic care. Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon and by Prospect Home Finance.
San Diego State football is now ranked 23rd in the latest AP poll. The Aztecs got a 23-21 victory over Nevada on Saturday. Matt Araiza and Cameron Thomas were named Mountain West Players of the Week. Araiza was named Special Teams Player of the Week, averaging 55.6 yards per punt, which is the highest average in the nation last week. The kicker also had his first career game winner to boost the Aztecs to a win over the Wolfpack. Thomas had a season-high 10 tackles, the second most in his career, along with 3.5 tackles for loss and 3 sacks in the Aztecs win, earning him Defensive Player of the Week. Next up, they'll take on UNLV on Friday in Vegas. That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Team Mazda of El Cajon and by Prospect Home Finance.
Arash Markazi here, inviting you to catch my show, The Arash Markazi Show, on the Mightier 1090. We are on every Monday through Friday from noon to 1 p.m. Pacific time. Join me and producer extraordinaire G. Wiley, where we chop up Los Angeles sports and try not to piss too many people off.
The all-new and Mightier 1090.
From fitness to medical technology, explore how people are leading healthier lives on your health. Join Erica Cardenas as she introduces you to health experts and discover how our daily choices affect our well-being. Plus, learn simple tips for healthier living. Your Health, Sunday at 4:30 p.m. on YourView and YourView.com. Brought to you by La Mesa Rehab, improving the lives of those afflicted by chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Learn more at lamesarehab.com.
Wilsey Asset Management is an investment advisory firm registered with the SEC. We're a firm that's a fiduciary firm, and we manage $500 million in assets for clients and businesses nationwide. We do better when our clients do better. You want to have a win-win situation. And I saw the same thing with charities. Some of the charities that we're involved in would include Cruise for Kids. Another organization that we really helped a lot was Children's Hospital. And there's also other organizations that we help as well in addition to those.
Kind of growing up and seeing how involved my dad was in the community, it really rubbed me, I'm going to say, in the right way. I did kind of take that one step further, I would say, and actually did start my own charity. It's called the Fighters Fight Foundation. What we do is we actually provide experiences to women that are battling stage 3 or stage 4 breast cancer. Our charity is not just about providing the experiences for women, it's also too on educating people. If you want to get involved in the foundation, you can go to our website, fightersfightfoundation.com.
At La Jolla Cosmetic, we try to help people achieve well-being, and we feel that it's not only important to look good, but also feel good inside. And honestly, what a better opportunity to help my community than being a supporter of an organization such as Las Patronas.
The mission of Las Patronas is to provide financial assistance to local nonprofits that are providing valuable community services in the areas of health, education, social services, and cultural arts. La Jolla Cosmetic has been one of our biggest supporters at Las Patronas, so we couldn't do what we do without their support.
You feel the need and you see the need because we go to visit each grant applicant.
Partnering with groups that are actually dedicated to help your community, it's the best thing that you can do as a responsible business.
Shelter to Soldier is 9 years young with a mission to save lives 2 at a time. We're adopting dogs from local shelters, training them for post 9/11 combat veterans, and we're able to donate these trained dogs to deserving veterans in need.
You know, I was in a very dark place. I was having suicidal thoughts, and I really needed an immediate help. We don't know if tomorrow is going to be there for us.
Shelter to Soldier is a nonprofit, and we're able to do the work that we do because of you, the community. Whether it's an individual donating $5 or whether it's a corporate donor like the Barnes firm that's supporting us in sponsoring multiple dogs that are going to make an impact in the veterans' lives in need.
Him by my side 24/7 has completely turned my life around. It's not just saving both of our lives, it has made an impact on myself, Nigel, my family, my work. So yes, they definitely have saved our lives.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the Mightier 1090 and YourView, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon and by Prospect Home Finance.
Wilsey Asset Management is an investment advisory firm registered with the SEC. We're a firm that's a fiduciary firm, and we manage $500 million in assets for clients and businesses nationwide. We do better when our clients do better. You want to have a win-win situation. And I saw the same thing with charities. Some of the charities that we're involved in would include Cruise for Kids. Another organization that we really helped a lot was Children's Hospital. And there's also other organizations that we help as well in addition to those.
Kind of growing up and seeing how involved my dad was in the community, it really rubbed me, I'm going to say, in the right way. I did kind of take that one step further, I would say, and actually did start my own charity. It's called the Fighters Fight Foundation. What we do is we actually provide experiences to women that are battling stage 3 or stage 4 breast cancer. Our charity is not just about providing the experiences for women, it's also too on educating people. If you want to get involved in the foundation, you can go to our website, fightersfightfoundation.com. ScottCaplanFoundation.com.
Attention, all dogs, cats, horses, tortoises, birds, pigs, and all other pets. Get your family members to sit, stay, and watch Animal Zone every Saturday at 9 p.m. right here on this channel and at animalzone.org.
Tune in Saturdays at 9 p.m. to watch Animal Zone right here on YourView.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.